Signatures, huh?
Regular meeting of the City Council, Needles Public Utility Authority, City of Needles will come to order. Roll call.
Councilmember Campbell.
Here.
McCorkle.
Here.
Jernigan.
Here.
Pogue.
Here.
Long break.
Here.
Thank you.
Public comments pertaining to the executive session items. A 3-minute time limit per person has been established. No public comments will be closed. Recess to executive session. Executive session. Attorney.
Yes, the council will meet in closed session. Item A is public employee performance evaluation pursuant to Government Code Section 54957. The title of the position is city clerk. Item B is conference with legal counsel, existing litigation. In re City of Needles versus Dominic Doe et al., 641 Front Street, California Superior Court. Case number is listed in the agenda. And then item C is conference with legal counsel regarding existing litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9D1. And that matter is City of Needles versus Manassian. That's it.
The amended agenda.
The order. Real quick, Madam Mayor, we're going to start with agenda item number B,
For B.
and we're going to move. So just move A to C. Yeah, we're going to move
Okay.
agenda item A to C.
Right.
Public Utility Authority, City of Needles, California. Executive session report by City Attorney. Oh, sorry.
Yes, the council met in executive session. Item A was public employee performance evaluation. The title of the position being evaluated was city clerk, and there was no reportable action taken. Item B, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, in re City of Needles versus Dominic Doe et al. And the address is listed on the agenda. It's 641 Front Street. And there was reportable action on that item. There was a motion to approve a settlement under which the city would receive reimbursement of its attorney fees, costs, plus fines, and the code violations at the property that haven't already been remedied would be finalized and remedied. And the first was made by Councilmember Campbell, the second by Pogue, and the vote was as follows. Councilmember Campbell in favor, Councilmember Pogue in favor, Councilmember McCorkle in favor, Councilmember Longbreak in favor, and Councilmember Belt in favor. Item C was conference with legal counsel regarding existing litigation, City of Needles versus Manassian, and there was reportable action taken on that item. There was a settlement that was approved under the terms of which the city, again, would be reimbursed its legal fees in that litigation and its costs, and the defendant would agree to the demands made by the city in the litigation and convey the property back to the city. That was a lawsuit for specific performance. It was a property the city had sold to Manassian, and the city was suing to have the property returned. And so that's now been agreed upon. And the report on that is Councilmember Campbell made the first on the motion to approve that settlement. Councilmember Pogue made the second. And the vote was Councilmember Campbell in favor of the motion approving the settlement, Councilmember Pogue in favor, Councilmember McCorkle in favor, Councilmember Longbreak in favor, and Councilmember Belt in favor. And that concludes the report out from closed session.
Thank you.
Someone's mic is on.
Something's on somebody's phone or something.
I don't know. We don't have,
Dennis, will you mute?
we don't have a screen.
Citizen on there, please.
There's somebody's mic on.
Somebody's mic is on.
Says citizen unverified.
Yeah.
Yes.
Call to order.
Councilmember Campbell. Oh, I'm sorry, I was looking at Citizen Unverified. Who's that?
McCorkle.
Present. Well,
Here.
some of my people are here.
Here.
Oh, here. Belt. Here. Long break.
There.
Thank you.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
Indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us engage in meaningful discussion, allow us to grow closer as a group, and nurture the bonds of community. We thank you for our city, for our elected officials, for the trust bestowed upon us, for the businesses, the churches, the families, the individuals, our visitors, and surrounding communities who make the city of Needles the great destination that it is. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Approval of the agenda.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Call for the vote.
Councilmember Campbell,
Yes.
McCorkle,
Yes.
Merritt,
Yes.
Hoag,
Yes.
Belt,
Yes.
Long break. Thank you.
Conflict of interest tonight?
I don't know of any.
Okay. Correspondence?
No, Your Honor.
Thanks. Introductions, we have prior councilperson Tim Terrell in the audience. Thank you for coming. City attorney.
Yes, according to the rules of parliamentary procedure that have been adopted by the city council, the mayor or presiding officer is responsible for the maintenance of order and decorum at all times. No person should be allowed to speak who has not first been recognized by the chair. All questions and remarks should be addressed to the chair. A council member once recognized shall not be interrupted while speaking unless called to order by the presiding officer. No member should be allowed to speak more than once upon any one subject until every other member choosing to speak thereon shall have spoken. Public members attending council meetings shall observe the same rules of order and decorum applicable to the council. And just as a reminder, the council has adopted a 3-minute time limit for public comment.
As a courtesy to those in attendance, we would ask that cell phones be turned off or set in their silent mode. Thank you. Public appearance. Persons wishing to address the city council on subjects other than those scheduled are requested to do so at this time. When called by the mayor, please announce your name and address for the record. In order to conduct a timely meeting, a 3-minute time limit per person has been established by Municipal Code Section 2-18. Amendments to the California Government Code Section 54950 prohibits the city council from taking action on a specific item until it appears on the agenda. Jake.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening. Hi.
I have some good news to present tonight.
Love
I
it.
always like that.
Yeah. So as a lot of you probably know, when our mayor's husband passed and the community wanted to donate, Jan insisted that the community donate to the charity fund we have at our station. So then I caught wind that a Needles High School hiking club has a trip to Sedona planned. They are diligently fundraising and accepting donations. We all know Sedona is a beautiful place, very touristy and very expensive. They have about 6 hikes planned. They want to stay there for about 2 nights. And so to me, that was a no-brainer. We need our kids out in nature, hiking, talking off of their phones.
Mhm.
And so
Nice.
Jan, on behalf of your late husband, every single dollar that this community raised and with your generosity is going towards that hiking club so they can make this trip happen.
Wow.
$2,425.
Wow. That is so cool.
Yeah, it's good.
I love hiking in Sedona.
I want to say thank you, but the kids want to say thank you as well.
We'll take a picture in a minute. That's so awesome.
The Needles Hiking Club would like to thank Jan Jernigan and the Needles Police Department for their donation of $2,425. And we're very excited to go on this 2-night hike. It's the first overnight hike we've gone on since COVID.
Oh, wow. For
So
you
cool.
guys. Thank you.
If you need chaperones, you know,
Thank you.
Thank you.
I will give you my card for future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I
Thank
just
you.
want to say too, I'm the sponsor of the hiking
Uh-huh.
club. And I just want to let you know, this hiking club was 100% thought of by the students. I asked them what kind of club they'd like to do. And what was it, 7 years ago?
Mhm.
And they said they'd like to do a hiking club.
Okay.
And some of the people here have been from day one, their freshman year. And it's a great group of kids. So thank you so much for this opportunity. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. And what is your name?
I'm Henry.
Hi, Henry.
And I'm Mrs. Sloan.
Mrs. Sloan.
I'm a
Nice
math
to-
teacher.
Nice
over
to
at the
meet you.
school.
Oh,
Nice to-
Thank you.
I need a tutor. Oh, they're gonna take the picture here. We're gonna come up here.
We'll get the mayor and the check from the sheriff's department.
Sure, get out of here.
One of the things I miss coming back here full time is all the hikes. Never been mountains,
Back all the way.
Battle Creek and Mount Georgia and I'm all anything up there. I've never hiked.
Whoops, I'm sorry.
Gotta come in a little tight though. Little, gotta not be afraid. And like you like each other. Yep.
Who's got a scooter?
Get in tight. Gotta come in a little bit more.
Yes.
You get the chicken wing. Well, I'm a cover for.
Oh, sure.
Go through.
It's okay. Yeah, perfect.
Okay, we gotta kind of try to get a little bit closer. I'm so sorry.
Like you're in the bus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our 3-minute time limit up.
I know, that's it. You're done, sorry.
All right. And then we got behind me, so stay right there.
Okay.
Stay there.
All of them.
Uh-oh,
And the cider room.
cheese.
Thank you.
The puppy dog.
Thank you.
Steve would love that. Have fun. I'm jealous. Really. I love Sedona. Go see a vortex. 3 of them.
Thank you.
Thank you. You, sir.
I'm gonna join your hiking club. I'm gonna do it.
Throw you a new one.
I know.
I'm kind of by the sheet. Bleeding by now.
Second set of teeth. I can't have second set of teeth.
Big, he's starting to choke up. You see him?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's starting to choke up. And then he had to stop. And I'm like,
Jake?
yeah, he's biting his cheeks right now.
Presentation, a 2-minute time limit per presentation has been established per municipal code section 2-18. Patrick, will you read?
Yeah, okay, real quick, got you. So, presentation by Ethan Guy, Director of Government Investments, Local Initiative Support Corporation, LISC. So, about a year ago, the city was awarded well, I don't want to get too much into it. The city was awarded a technical assistance program to assist the city to be able to find, update what Angelica has done at the Housing Authority, but 2, try to achieve the housing struggle that we currently face in our community. And I think we've done everything we can to go and get housing. And so we wanted to take it the next level and basically reach out to some professionals to see what we can do to help us, because as a rural, underprivileged community, in some cases, it's quite challenging to be able to get a home builder into a city like Needles. And so we're doing whatever we can to reach those goals. And we took it the next step and reached out to HUD and said, hey, look, I know we don't meet your criteria, so to speak, but if you would just work with us, I promise it'd be worth it. And so they took our application that Rainey had submitted, and we were awarded a TA. And so this is Ethan. Ethan's with LISC. And so I'll I think I've already talked too much. Well, him and his team are here. They've flown in from all over the country, Maine and Oregon and Coachella. And so we're blessed that they're here with us. And yeah, they're from all over. So go ahead, Ethan.
Appreciate
Thank you.
it, Patrick. Good evening. As Patrick said, I'm Ethan Guy. I'm the Director of Government Investments at LISC, Local Initiative Support Corporation. LISC is a community development finance institute. We're a nonprofit, but we're also the lead technical assistance provider for HUD on the DCTA program. And I'm joined today by two of my team members, Elizabeth McDaney and Charlotte O'Connor. Also with us, but not here today, is Nadia Villagran, who is from Coachella. She's our executive director for our LISC rural team. So we have a large team that brings a lot of expertise on a lot of different things. So my plan is I'm going to go pretty quickly through these slides just to kind of give the high level, because I want to have opportunities to answer any questions, or just if not, we can keep moving on. So as Patrick mentioned, we were brought in with the initial scope to really work with the city, kind of focused on planning development of workforce housing, financial needs and resources, and assistance through targeted integration of existing housing authority activities. The overall process, so kind of what is technical assistance, what is the process? So we start off by needs assessment. The idea here is not to recreate new materials or to tell you what you already know. The idea here is we're just trying to document those things to provide that justification for HUD as to the next step, which are technical assistance recommendations. So the key difference between technical assistance and consulting is that we're not actually allowed to do the work for you, but we can get pretty close, and we can do a lot to help build your own capacity through technical assistance. So that's kind of the key difference. So if you hear me kind of talking about support or assistance, that's us trying to balance that line between technical assistance and consulting. And so where we are right now is we're actually into the direct technical assistance phase. So we've done needs assessments, we've put together some recommendations. We're on site for the next few days, just see everybody in person. It's always good to just see a face and not necessarily a screen. We're doing some site visits just to kind of walk some of the sites to get a feel for the soil, get a feel for the grades, because that's always just very helpful when you're trying to ground yourself in a community. Our initial findings in that needs assessment, I mean, we're just saying these are things you told us, so I'm going to say them pretty quick. But the idea here is helping plan for development and redevelopment of workforce housing, supporting the City of Needles in developer recruitment, knowledge-based financing strategy resources for housing development. Sometimes just getting somebody here can be difficult, and part of what we're really good at is helping identify those resources and saying, hey, there's a city that needs some developers. What do we need to do to get you out here? Additionally, a lot of our work is really focused on the housing authority and just assisting getting that set up and getting the work moving forward. And then finally, wherever possible, just helping with community decision making. Nothing super specific there, pretty high level. So on that first kind of big piece that I mentioned in terms of the Public Housing Authority, our technical assistance recommendation is really focused on internal operations and management of the Public Housing Authority. Idea here is really just kind of helping support the development of the required policies and procedures. Eventually, we'll start moving over to more thinking through kind of large scale strategy operations, but that's far down the line. We're not there yet. Our key deliverables, you may have seen in December, the HOTMA and VASH policies and procedures that came through. We were kind of in the background just assisting Angelica and her team while they were putting that together. Next up on the deck is the annual plan. In the future, where we're also going to help kind of conduct a staffing analysis and help try to find ways to help build in support for staffing. And then finally helping with some budgeting, capital, and portfolio analysis of the housing authority itself. The second recommendation that we had really on focusing on housing authority is we're blessed at LISC to have a pretty deep bench. And so one of our senior vice presidents also used to be a former housing authority manager. Something simple here is just if Angelica ever needs to talk to somebody who's in a similar position to say, why is this happening? She has that resource. We don't need to know anything about those conversations. The idea here is that's just an ear for Angelica if she needs it. We kind of then moved on from housing authority onto housing economic development in terms of our TA recommendations. And so really the idea is we're trying to focus on improving the availability of affordable housing. So this is essentially using the sites and the designations that the city's been really great at already identifying. So that's through the RENA, through the housing element, and just kind of thinking through those sites, trying to think through what sites are feasible, how do we make them feasible. So we'll be doing a housing site analysis and helping with the development of a strategic housing plan and stakeholder engagement. One thing here is that there's a broad definition of affordable. So if you hear me say affordable, I'm not necessarily talking about this project has a subsidy or the rents are artificially low. When I talk about affordable, I'm talking about lower A affordable. This is homes that are affordable to people that live in the community, and that may not necessarily be anything that has anything to do with HUD. This is just simply, we want to make sure that there's housing available for the community, and how do we get that to the community itself. I think, move to the next. Yeah. Oh, all right.
Where's the battery?
I might be at the end. I went faster than I was planning on. So with that, we're here for questions. Yeah.
So, I have a question. So, are you going to help us, as a community to point out factors that, we're doing wrong plus factors we're doing right? Help us, reach a balance that we can attract, contractors to come build us homes in that, or?
That's a great question, and I actually think that's TA recommendation number 4.
Okay.
And I mean, from the 1,000-foot view, y'all are doing a lot right. So there's not a whole lot that we're saying, hey, you need to change, because you're doing the things that you all need to be doing.
Mhm.
A lot of our work is really focused on making sure that other people know that,
Okay.
so that we can help identify those developers, we can identify those resources to get them to Needles, to do this, just to notice the things that you all are already doing. So that's why it benefits that we have our executive director in
Mhm.
Coachella, and the fact that she's already doing a lot of this for San Bernardino County.
Oh, okay.
And we're able to tap into that resource. And so tomorrow is really focused. A lot of our work is going to be focused on identifying some of those hurdles to developers to get them out here and what
Cool.
needs to happen.
Thank you.
Do you focus on anything else besides just housing? Is there other parts of this, like economic development and on the business side of it also?
Absolutely. Yeah. So my handlers at HUD would yell at me if I only talked about housing, because urban development is a significant part of the work that we do. So what I mean by that is a lot of our non-housing work is focused on economic development, identifying resources in terms of financing, funding to bring in additional businesses, development, support local businesses. So that is firmly in the work that we are doing. We just talk a lot about housing because when people hear HUD, they normally think housing. But when we kind of approach it, it's not just, well, we're going to build housing. It is, well, how do we build the tax base? How do we build sales tax revenue? How do we address issues, especially when you're talking about a community that's on the border between California and Arizona? How do you address those differences in non-housing
Big one.
items? Yeah. So that's a lot of the focus in the work that we're doing as well.
Thank you.
So how does that take place? What is the next steps for you guys then?
That's a great question. Yeah. So after our work today, part of the information that I flagged is kind of like a site analysis and strategic plan. So some of that is actually thinking through specific sites and trying to determine what's feasible on those sites. And what I mean by feasible is not necessarily like how many housing units per acre. Sometimes it might be how can we bring in an anchor business institution into this facility? What are those types of work? What are those types of factors that they need to know about in order to bring them in? It may also entail kind of looking at kind of the suite of incentives that are available through the state, through the federal government, that may be available through the city, and just think through how can we kind of package these things together to make them attractive to whomever might work best on that site. And that's why I didn't want to, when I was talking about affordable housing, I wanted to emphasize it's lowercase a affordable housing, because that might be a market rate developer who has first floor retail. But how you go about kind of bringing that project in is a little bit different, because you want to make sure that you're making that decision really easy for that developer to go, why wouldn't I do this? And so that's a lot of what we're kind of trying to flush out with these sites. And that's what the site analysis is. The strategic plan element of it, that's also really kind of focused on economic development. The strategic plan there is, it's not just about necessarily bringing a developer in for one project, but showing that there is a pipeline of projects. That if you come and do work here, you have a project that might be available in 6 months, in 12 months, in 18 months, and it behooves you to kind of make a concerted effort to stay in the city of Needles for a prolonged period of time. And what attracts the developer differs by developer, but that's part of kind of what we're trying to suss out while we're on site.
Thank
Does
you.
that answer your question? Okay.
Thank you. Anybody else?
No, I'm
Okay.
just excited.
Thank you so much. That was really
I
informative.
just want to see houses, really, anything, boxes.
Yeah.
Get you through the federal government? How does without a grant, correct? So then what does that benefits them to just help us develop our city? Like
Yeah,
what's
it's a good
beneficial to everyone besides us?
It's a great question. So usually when there's technical assistance through HUD, it's because it's bad, right? Like
Yeah.
you've done something wrong. DCTA is not that. It's one of the unique programs at HUD where it's just, we're here to kind of provide holistic wraparound services. So there's qualifying eligibility criteria that Needles qualified for.
Mhm.
And our job is really just to kind of come in and support wherever. We don't want to step on people's toes. We don't want to stop anything that's already in the process. We mostly just kind of want to go in and say, where can we be beneficial? There's nothing in it for us. We get paid through HUD, but the program itself is federally funded. It's been funded since 2018, and it's been funded every year since. And it's one of the few programs that they send us and my counterparts with other providers kind of throughout the country. It is a unique program in HUD. Yeah.
Thank you.
Have you identified a particular project that you want to start already?
Yes and no. I think where it's helpful is that there are a lot of irons in the fire right now. And part of how we're looking at it is, yes, while we might say, hey, this project should go to the top of the priority list, especially when you're talking about attracting developers or attracting businesses, it's the pipeline that's really important. And so that's kind of where we're trying to focus on, like, what is that pipeline of projects? Because that'll be very helpful in those conversations.
Thanks.
So if we say like we're in California, there's Arizona, that's like, is that something that you take into consideration, or is there anything different that can be done? Or is it just like, these are just part of the hurdles, but there's, I don't know, funding that could help on those type of hurdles?
Yeah, so when we look at any one of those projects, especially when we do the site analysis, part of what we're trying to look at, and this is part site analysis, part strategic plan, is the idea that you want to look at that pipeline of projects, but also look what the city's currently doing, because we don't ever want to make a recommendation that might hurt something else. So I say that because, especially when we're talking about a community where if you go across the river, taxes are lower, property taxes are lower, we want to take that into consideration when we put together strategic plan. So if we're talking about, say, a first-time homebuyers program or a down payment loan assistance program, part of what we need to take into consideration when we make the recommendation about how you might want to structure that program is the fact that you have California property taxes and you have Arizona property taxes. That's something that we can't run away from, right? Like,
Right.
so how do we solve for this disparity on something that we can't control? So those are things like, are there ways that we can access incentive programs? Are there federal, state, potentially city incentive programs that could be leveraged to help kind of overcome that hurdle? When it comes to kind of developers, that's another question that we're thinking through. So when we do the site analysis, when we're looking at that site, we're looking at things like, is there potential environmental issues? That might be scary, but it also might be a good thing in that there's federal funds that provide capacity and consulting for the city to address anything that the EPA might be interested in. So it's an opportunity that could present itself unique to that parcel, right? That unique to that land. Another one is if the city already has site control of a property, that also provides kind of a way for us to look around that. A good example is that a lot of uppercase affordable housing projects use low-income housing tax credits, right? Some of those are, yeah.
They use those.
They qualify by definition of being an affordable project, right? Because they have an income restriction. So when you look at those, you want to look at how many projects are in that pipeline, because you don't want your projects competing against each other. So then the recommendation might be, how do you structure these so you can keep these projects moving forward, but so that they're maximizing the amount of funds that they could potentially get? And so those are all the high level things that we think about in a site analysis or in a housing plan or strategic plan. Some of them will work out. Sometimes it's not going to work out. So the best we can kind of say is like, here's a good roadmap. And then not only is here's a good roadmap, but what we also try to do is, here's a way that you can apply for some like real money to help with like staffing or to help with like a project manager on this specific project, doing the things that we can't do. That's very much kind of what we try to help with.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's very
Thank you
good.
very much.
You have this slide too?
Hmm?
You have that slide?
Yeah, I can get it over to you guys.
Okay.
Public hearing for the annual account of development impact fees for the year 2023. City managers report.
Yeah, the City of Needles, public hearing is required per AB 1600. We need to, both general law and charter cities are supposed to account for the developer impact fee that's taken in. Again, a developer impact fee is a fee that's new, brought on by new development. You build a new house, or you build a new, commercial building, or a cannabis facility. You pay a developer impact fee because you're paying for the impact of this new development coming online. And so we've got 4 different areas. So circulation system, that's the streets; park and acquisition facilities, that's your parks; water source storage and distribution, that's your water, basically your water distribution and wastewater collection. So those are the 4 areas that the City of Needles collects on all new development that are developed in our city. And so we've got 76,348 North Needles worth of developer impact fee funds as of 6/30/23, and then South Needles we have 97,385. And so basically we've collected that. What we do with those are basically the fee studies. So we've got a new developer impact fee study that's being developed right now. Every 5 years they're required to be updated. We haven't updated it since 2018, so you're going to be seeing that coming forward. And again, we've got TKE under the leadership of Kathy Roush working on that. We've got the pavement management study that we're all familiar with, that 15-year plan. We recently updated it. And so that was also under the leadership of Kathy Roush. But and then the culinary and water study update, which was under the leadership of Rainey. So basically, we take those funds and put it towards the studies come first, and once the studies come, we can put it towards the infrastructure. And so, but basically this allows us to account for those dollars. And then on the next page, you'll see that there's, a definition of what circulation, water source, wastewater collection systems, parkland. So these are all required to be accounted for. And so this is just our annual accounting for the fees. Our recommendation is to approve our annual accounting so we can stay current with state law.
To approve.
Any public comment? If not, public comment is closed. Call for the vote.
Campbell.
Yes.
McCorkle.
Yes.
Merritt.
Yes.
Hoag.
Yes.
Belt. Yes. Longbridge.
Yes.
Thank you.
Public comments pertaining to the council items. A 3-minute time limit per person has been established. Council consent calendar. All matters listed on the consent calendar are considered to be routine and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed. The mayor or any member of the city council may pull an item from the consent calendar for discussion. Prior to council action, a member of the public may address the city council on matters scheduled on the consent calendar. A 3-minute time limit per person applies. Recommended action: approve items 2 through 5 on the consent calendar by affirmative roll call vote.
Mayor, I'd like to pull 5.
Okay. City manager, number 5.
Yes, so back in September, the city went out to RFP for a marketing consultant. At that point in time, we had a different development director working in that position. Point in time where that individual head up the committee for the hiring and those is no longer with us. We tried to remedy it, but it wasn't gonna be whole. With Kathy Roush stepping in, we need to go back out. So I need you to reject this so we can go back immediately. This is still a need, even though we've got organizations like Liz helping us out. And we've got new members here in the community or on city staff that have a background in that. We still need to have somebody that can do, videos and releases and updates and outreach. And so the proposals that have been as part of that process, they're more than willing to reapply. This has nothing to do with the applicants. This has to do with that the person that was running this committee is no longer with us.
Okay.
And so we tried to fix it. It's not fixable. That person's no longer here.
Okay.
So we're gonna go back out. We're gonna act hastily to get this position filled because this will help us get our messaging out.
Anybody else? Okay.
Move to approve.
Second. I was just calling for
Oh.
a second, sorry.
I'll second.
Call for the vote.
Councilmember Campbell.
Yes.
McCorkle.
Yes.
Merritt.
Yes.
Hoag.
Yes.
Belt. Yes. Longbridge.
Yeah.
Thank you.
City attorney report.
I have nothing this evening.
Thank you.
Wow.
City manager.
If you want,
I know. City staff was notified by Congressman Raul Ruiz's office that the San Bernardino County Needles Behavioral Health Outpatient Clinic and Recovery Clubhouse. I don't want to mess that up. It was about $1 million that we received from our congressman as an earmark for our community. So that's great. So that will be put towards the Department of Behavioral Health in the existing building, at least the way that it was proposed to the Congress and approved by our great Congress folks at Washington, D.C., is that basically they're going to revitalize that existing building that's there. They don't currently own it, so they're going to try and repurchase. They're going to try and purchase it and do some rehabilitation to it. So it was $3 million, but we'll take $1 million. And so again, this is through the county. This isn't through the city, but this is, our Congress, our tax dollars at work. Additionally, we, Arrowhead Credit Union over the weekend provided 350 meals of anybody who was around. And so basically, the Needles Mormon Church had their missionaries driving around the city passing out food. We were passing out some food. It was great. It was a great event. They're going to do it again. But they serve spaghetti and Alfredo. And basically, it was a great opportunity to feed the residents of our community. And it's through the Arrow Heart Foundation, which is a part of the Arrowhead Credit Union. Okay. And then tomorrow, the LIST team in cooperation with Angelica we'll be having our open house in regards to the VASH program. And we've talked about this a lot, but it's finally here, so it's really exciting. The Veterans Housing Choice Voucher that will be available to 30 veterans that are homeless will be able to work with Angelica Nations First, and then the VA hospital to be able to get placement into our 30 units that are spread throughout town. And so we're going to meet with developers tomorrow and see who's interested. And again, it's a choice. They have a choice on where they get to where these veterans will be able to live. So it's their choice to go with whatever developer comes forward. So that's really exciting. And really, that's we've got more, but you can read all about it. So
And Mayor, I just wanted to clarify, I typically give my report once a month,
Uh-huh.
and I gave my report at the last meeting for March, so I'll do another one in April.
Councilmember Campbell.
I don't really have any requests. I just wanted to give a little report on our trip to El Centro yesterday. We had the development team. Oh, well. There's our the walking. So we went down to El Centro and we were able to tour. There were 10 properties down there that were split by a developer. We were able to tour most of them and see motels that were switched over to be efficient, affordable housing or efficiency apartments. And they were amazing, that just taking these places that were dilapidated and, slated to go in a bad direction or maybe be gone completely. And he went in there and he took those 10 properties and made 900 apartments. And every single one of them rents for $520 a month, including utilities. And he made them really pretty. He did, just little wrought iron, little curly cues and beautiful doors. And you could pick out all 10 of his properties. They're kind of like Denny's. They all dress the same. And they're really pretty. And they flipped them from places that were undesirable with lots of traffic, everything except the red lights and a lot of drug activity, a lot of police activity going in and out of these properties, which happens when people are living month to month and under the wire because they're not approved for that. And now they're apartments and they have less police calls. They have, less interaction with any kind of law enforcement. They have homes, they have families, they have border patrol, doctors, nurses, everyone that needs a home. And, that's something that would be really nice to have here. And we talked about the different needs for affordable housing, not just low income, but we live in a community where we have students. I remember when I graduated from high school and went to college and I wanted to get my own place. And how do kids do that here? Where do they work? Where do they find a place to live that's affordable for one person? And these are perfect little places. And we have 600 people that are LifeScan approved that work here. We have more than that in Needles for working in cannabis, but 600 of them live across the river because there's nowhere to live here. And that 600 people being brought here adds to our population, adds to being able to get a grocery store, all the different things that tie into each other. So it was really amazing. And, the mayor went and a member of the planning commission and Kathy went and we won over the planning commission chair on this project. He was really excited about it. So it was really nice. Patrick drove us down there. He's a great driver. So it was wonderful. We had a really nice day. It's 3.5 hours down there. And then spending the day, we had lunch and then we came back. So it was really nice. So I'm really glad that I got to do that and to be on that committee. Thank you.
Jamie.
I don't have a lot. I just want to pass on a message that the Needles High School Band is hosting a barbecue dinner tomorrow with music provided by the Needles High School. It'll be at 6 p.m. at the gym and it's $10 a plate. So they hope everybody shows up and has fun.
Thank you.
I don't have anything. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You should tell me to smile. You should tell me to smile before I take a picture.
I just wanted to comment about the county resource fair last week. I was able to attend, got some personal documentation taken care of. It was a wonderful, wonderful resource. They had Veterans Affairs, they had county aging, they had, oh my gosh, there's just too many groups to remember. I was able to talk to a potential new business that I brought to Patrick's attention. Maybe we can get something else in here, working with the San Bernardino County, for training purposes to get some training in. So it was very, very interesting and saw a lot of people. So hopefully we'll be able to have that every year if the county feels it's worth it. And then yesterday I went on the El Garces tour and, I want to comment, your husband is a wonderful tour guide. Very, some interesting stories about the history of it, and hopefully we can get this refurbished and up to par. So, make it a real gem for the city of Needles, but a lot of interesting history with it. That's it.
Thank you. Councilmember Belt.
We got to go this last couple weekends. Rec Center had some all-stars and Needles got to take about 70 players to all these different tournaments. Just as we had the last week, we had the state boys and girls here, how they brought up how these kids start from rec as teams. Just a great shout out to our rec department, Jen and her staff. I don't know how they keep all organized because we played from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. and these little ones are just, they love it. It's really a good team building. It's a really good program. So we had a lot of fun, lots of weekends traveling, but it's a lot of work for the staff. So I want to thank all them for all their hard work because that really is a fun thing to get to do, especially kids to get to have the opportunity to travel outside of Needles and go, play a little competitive other teams and see what else is out there in the world. And that's it. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. Councilmember Long Break.
Yeah, the resource fair was great. It's nice to have that. It's our second year of having that. And yeah, hopefully it does keep going back. That was pretty neat. I'm getting complaints from the residents of the city. The school up on the accelerated school, I believe it is up on the hill, from the cannabis place on Lily. From the odors that are coming from that, and also the housing that's right next to it too. The residents next to it are really complaining. They go, "What can we do? What can we do? Nothing we can do." I told them to go to the city, and they says they won't do nothing. They won't do nothing. Residents are getting really frustrated with it because there's a constant odor coming from that place, and also, there's other odors coming from the other places after code enforcement goes home and on the weekends, especially at night. So if we could take care of that odor problem that we have with that, that's our third major complaint of the city. The first one, grocery store, second, roads, of course. But that's the third major complaint. Thanks. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you.
I forgot the art fair, but I'll let you do that.
Madam Mayor, I screwed up. One more thing.
Oh, no.
I apologize. So real quick, I don't mean that.
No, you're fine.
Real quick. I promise. I want to showcase.
You're clocking.
I want to showcase what we got going on. Rainey and her team put together a video.
There it is. Oh.
Could you okay.
It was playing for a second.
playing for a
Screen
second.
to the left to hit screen. Just do the screen on the other left where it says screen. Up right there. Yeah, there you go. All right, cool.
Cool.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Show offs. That is so awesome. Yay.
Really good. Thank you, Rainey. Friday, I had a chance to go to our school district office with Dr. Cameron, and the Arrow Heart Foundation was there. Christmas time at the rec center, Patrick Jesse and I were up there and we got a chance to talk to Darren, the CEO of the Arrowheart. And gosh, that was like almost 6 months ago. And I was asking him, he was asking what the community needed. And I mentioned that the kindergarten is in need of snack bars. And the high school, at the first of the school, a number of my friends and I, we donated personal hygiene items. Socks were needed for all grades, toiletry products. So they brought a carload full of all this for the high school, and it will be split amongst the schools. So a shout out to the Arrowheart Foundation. The resource fair, 125 attended. We had 24 vendors. And Steve Ray sent me an email, and December, Patrick will receive an email. They'll be setting up for next year. And a special thanks again to the city, Rainey, Jesse, his crew, and Supervisor Rao and Steve Rays for coming out and doing this. And Patrick didn't mention, but part of this too, the public defender is going to do an outreach program to Needles to come out here and do a workshop program to help those write up their cases for court and that, to help them, what they did wrong and that. And then also at my office, the health department, they're going to come back out and do more free shots and vaccinations too before we do another resource fair. The same week, which we won't do again, we had art in the park, and then we also had crafts on Saturday. It was our first time to do this. We had 18 vendors and 125 pieces. A local needles artist won People's Choice, Maureen Hammond, and you wouldn't believe what the picture was. A caboose coming into El Garces. It was the fan favorite. So, and again, we will do this next year. And I just want to remind everybody, Saturday at 10 o'clock is our Easter egg hunt down at the Santa Fe Park. 5,000 eggs will be put down. And it's just fun to come watch because 15 minutes later, they're gone. But anyway, everybody have a great Easter weekend. Thank you. And the meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.